Well, hello. While updating the decals and stuff, I just got a little bit sidetracked. And I spawned the Type A plane, and I just removed all the detection, so it has no detection. Now I can't get in the menu, but if we spawn a laser rangefinder, we can get up the detection menu here. And obviously it has really bad, like the bearing error is like 16 degrees, range error like 400, 300, it's completely off the charts, obviously. Even if we remove the single little bit of detection, it kinda has a hunch where the enemy is. And this is not due to me having installed the inter-vehicle transmitter, because then of course we can share like the detection. But if we don't have that, it still has a hunch where the enemy is. So I was figuring like how? And then I realized that there is some kind of base detection. So one thing I've always thought about when making airplanes, really small airplanes, is that there is no good way to have the detection, because it will be blind when it only sees 90 degrees forwards and blah blah blah. But obviously, when we are relying on a missile-based airplane that only uses active guided missile, it actually seems we can skip the detection. And this leaves room for a lot more, well, possibility to make a tiny airplane. So today I thought we should try and make the tiniest airplane we can make. How tiny can it get, basically? So I'm gonna spawn my little build platform thing, or what is it called? It's like the AOG colors vehicle. This is a little vehicle you can download, and it has all the colors, the official AOG colors, that is written down and explained in some document if you're interested. And the fleet colors are of course set up using Z menu, but I wanted to make it easy for folks building AOG things for future challenges and stuff. So I mirrored the AOG colors to 13 to 16, so you can easily copy them over. You know, copy, paste into the fleet colors if you wanted that. In any case, what are the essential bits here? Well, obviously, we need a mainframe. So we shall, whoops, that was that was so stupid. Anyways, all right, I think we're going to keep this structure for a tiny little bit here. Or actually, I can, no. Anyways, let's just make a little mainframe, all right? And then I suppose we should go with some type of thruster. And either a regular ion thruster that makes it able to go to space, but we also need less thrust. So I think perhaps a ion thruster is actually the right thing to use here. I just realized we should probably be building it from this end. Right, so we need to make sure that this thing is aligned, because we obviously need to use breadboard for this. Now I'm trying to pick up a breadboard. We can see the drag is reduced a little bit, front and back. And I want this airplane to be able to do some damage at least. So I want it to have like one missile at least. Something like that. Well, we can have the breadboard at top. And we need to solve the propulsion issues. Now there is some free firepower and fuel. So hopefully we can get away with just having a material box. Then we get some fuel access and some ammo access. Right. We don't have any engine power, however. And a battery. Man, a battery is really heavy. No, it's not that heavy, right? Weighs as much as a material box, which I didn't remember material boxes being this heavy. I mean, of course, they're about as heavy as metal, but I thought they were pretty light, to be honest. Oh well, good to know. I totally missed that. As said, we have some free ammo access and fuel access, so we don't need fuel tanks or ammo barrels for this tiny project. However, I wonder if an electric engine has some type of built-in, and no, not a tiny bit of battery even. So we could have a battery and a electric engine. Then we can get up to 90 power. This will of course mean we need to recharge it externally, but I think that's absolutely fine. Nothing we should put an RTG on, definitely not. It's too tiny. The alternative is to have really tiny fuel engines. So now we have 90 power. So if we, for example, would switch to a fuel engine, because we need that material box for the weapons anyways, and have like one cylinder, we get 16 power. That's not much, but the weight, 30 for this piece, 30 for this piece, is just slightly improved. So you know what, I suspect we can go with the battery setup for now, and we can change that later if we need to. Alright then, it's very important we kind of keep this stable, but supposedly, oh, now we need a local weapon controller too if we want a weapon. And the local weapon controller, okay, needs to be placed close to the AI, otherwise we need to have a lot more blocks. We don't need a one with a failsafe or anything, we can just stick one there. Oh, and now it comes, we need a missile controller. Damn, this is gonna be so much longer if we want a weapon. Yeah, we can't rely on aim type weapons, we need it to be self-aiming. It's also possible we could make this a not the attack vehicle, but just a surveillance vehicle, but with no detection. Nah, probably not. That would be really, yeah. Could have an antenna removing fog of war. That's a possible alternative. 40. But nah, you know, it has too much drag, it will be very hard to do. It's better to have a strategic antenna with a balloon instead. So I think the task for today, we're gonna make the tiniest jet fighter we can have. So we'll need to fit that infrastructure here, okay. Maybe one more here. So, missile controller. And obviously we will have very little firepower on this. It's gonna be like the minimum possible. So we're gonna have a small rail launcher. It's gonna be a single one here. And I think rail gantry Not the invisible one, we can have the visible one. So let's see how much ammo this requires. I think we'll need to spawn a real ammo box to see that stat. Alright. 10 materials per minute as ammunition. And we got 50 by default. So you know what? I think we actually could have this thing. A small rail launcher with like 4 missiles. Let's see how this pans out. Do we have enough ammo to keep these? That would be actually kind of cool. 40 and we got 50. All right. Can I add one more? Okay. We require 48. Okay, this is kind of the max size we can have here. That's nice. Well, I think we have a missile type of setup for this now. Now I'm just curious, how should I make my breadboard? I'm not the best with bread. Let's just put it at that. I wonder if this has some type of... No, just has even like drag. I was just worried if this sticks up, but obviously it doesn't because it has like 1 meter like that. Right, so we need some type of good front here. I think the 3 meter nose might be a little bit excessive, but let's just add it at that right now. At this size, EMP protection is obviously no-go. But we are going to try and add some wings to this thing then. And no, we're not gonna use the old-fashioned wings. I like them more, I'm gonna be honest with you, I just like them so much more, but we're gonna use custom control surfaces. Because I suspect this will be much more reasonable. So, we need some... this is the center of mass, right? So then we should go with custom wings. If we have, we probably need like tiny amounts of wings. It's probably gonna be silly how little wings we need on this thing. But I think we want kind of a UAV type of design. So I'm actually gonna opt for like straight wings like this. Ooh. Actually, I think I wanted wings... Nah, I probably want it like this. Okay, I think I decided. Then we should go with the custom control surfaces instead. So we need some type of pivot. Oh no. And they're like only really big. Is there not some like small pivot? Ah. That looks jank. Well, I'm gonna do like this, go to the wing. I'm gonna add a middle wing part because it has the same stats. I think it'll look a little bit more reasonable. And I'm just aligning the blocks using G because they are a little bit careful on how you align them. So now we kind of have roll movement. We need some type of pitch. For this, however, I think we should actually use the old parts. I think we're gonna go with a tail plane. And honestly, I'm thinking perhaps we should prolong it a little bit here. Adding that ion thruster 1 step in the back. Because otherwise it will be off-center, the tail plane, and I don't think we need any more than that. Alright, I think this is a pretty minimal size here. So, the bread has 0.5 drag left and right, and the missile gantry has 0.1. So it has more drag on the top here, even though it doesn't look like it. which might be a problem. I'm gonna check the applique panels here. Reduce to front. Alright, so possibly we need to add a piece of applique. This could cancel out the issues that could otherwise arise. Shouldn't hurt at least, right? The 0.2 one is 0.2, or the 2 meter long is 0.2. This was 0.1. Yeah. You know, I think this might be as minimal as we can go. Now, I'm a little bit... Right, so trying to remember bread here a little bit. And to not do that, we're going to set up a basic AI. So I suppose we'll just do attack run. We're gonna have it at base values for now. It's a air vehicle. It's gonna avoid stuff. Maximum altitude can be 800 probably. Yeah, I think this is probably reasonable. And some type of maneuver. Airplane 1.0 could probably be reasonable for this. We're gonna keep an at stock for now. And yeah, now we're gonna select a reasonable candidate for this. This is, I need to update this list. I don't exactly remember who is still a, still in, if someone maybe jumped out of the army of GMODISM, I need to remove them from the list here of chosen names. But this particular unit is controlled by Cadet Ben Hickey. So thanks for your support. That's like what I want to do. I want to have the Patreon names for the AIs. It's funny. Cadet, you know, flight cadet, it sounds right for aircraft, I think, like, even though cadet is just a training degree, usually. We have it a little bit different in the army of GMODISM. No, just a little bit. Well, now we should set up some boring stuff.
Airborne at your service.
Make sure it's airborne. We're gonna set it to keep, it's gonna be user, and it's gonna keep full material and full energy. Yeah. That's probably absolutely fine. Look, it kind of flies. Almost. It's absolutely has some issues at controlling it, obviously. It's possible we could make it even smaller by not even having control surfaces. That's actually absolutely a possibility. I thought to use like thrust vectoring with the ion thruster, but I wanted some control surfaces for backup. Oh yeah, and our problem is we have too much lift factor. Alright. I think our global wind factor can probably be like 0.5%. I think it might be still too much. So if we have a lift factor of 0.5, maybe we'll stop climbing. I don't know. Oh yeah, okay, we got drag is a little bit off center here. Well, what we need to do is fix those PIDs. The proportional integral derivative thing. So obviously these needs to be really, really low for it to be able to control something like this. So we're just gonna drag down all of these to like basically like not like minimum, but almost like minimum values. 0007 sounds like a cool number. I want it for all of them. Because we're so small and light that each like nudge from the PIDs is actually like a lot. Oops. Roll 2. Man, sometimes it's hard to click down these menus. I don't think these PIDs does anything, but if they do, it'd be a good thing to have set them up here. Okay. So, oh, we have so little engine power now. Okay, just a quick recharge. We're going like 50 meters per second. That's pretty quick. Oh, okay. So that block was really important. Right. Just to test if stuff is all right here, I'm just gonna remove all of this because now it should go straight. And you can see the pitch needs to be weaker. And perhaps roll needs to be a little bit stronger. Right, so we're gonna go in here and set that up again. So it went up and down like this, so pitch is too strong. I'm gonna have it at like minimum values. And perhaps the derivate is messing it up here. Do we have like, no? So, sorry for the spinniness. This is not great. Right. I'm yet to make a proper deep dive into the math of this, but hopefully when you watch this video, maybe that's out, I don't know. Okay, so derivate time. Let's see, we could increase the derivate time a little bit. Okay, cool. Now, roll needs to be a little bit stronger. We're gonna double the strength for the roll here. Maybe it's not enough. Oh, we are pretty high up in the atmosphere, by the way. You know what? We should be going down a little bit here. And the simplest way to go down fast when in designer mode, it is sadly enough not more advanced than just slapping a bit of lead and waiting. Oh yes, there we are, touchdown, like a proper space rocket. It has an iron thruster, so it fits. Oh, and this is pretty funny. It works underwater as well, because it's an iron thruster. It runs out of charge so fast. All right. I wonder if it, like, can it... Oh, these are not set up. That's stupid of me. I assume they were set up automatically like these easy parts, the Alerians and stuff like that. Yeah. You know what? We're just gonna go back to use the basic parts here. Roll is usually the most sensitive thing here. So I was pretty surprised that the roll wasn't strong enough at 0.07. Okay. Wow. So now we have roll control. Well, that's not strange at all. It had trouble controlling itself. All right, so if we remove these pieces here again, oh, it's gonna be hard. Look at that, so much. Now we're smooth and easy. This works. Well, you know what? honestly think we have two little marginal margins to work with here. We're not gonna fit. We are not gonna fit a breadboard on here. That will be for another video. This is not gonna work. Yeah, this is not gonna work. But what we can do is actually potentially make this. This might be a little bit much. I am very aware of this being a little bit much. But it's fun. Okay. Like that. Now we have issues with that's too much missiles. And the cost of this thing is like 3,000. Well, 50 meters per second. We're at least stable. But this is too much missiles for it. Yeah. Let's save it. You know what? I realized a little thing here. We have an ion thruster, which is great. We can go in space and that we can go into the water and everything. But the issue is that we actually get some pretty good thrust in space, but we don't have any good at all, like control ways with our wings and ailerons and stuff in space. So we're basically just turning into an uncontrollable rocket when we're in space. So honestly, I think it's better that we just switch to a normal jet engine. Now our speed is going off the charts here. You know what? I don't think... Now we actually have... We don't need that much engine power now. When we have a proper jet engine, because you can see that the thrust over the thruster here is like 600 max force, but at this it's 2000. So even if we like decrease, even if we cut the power in half, we are actually going to be a good bit faster, or have more thrust basically. I'm thinking we're gonna go back to the original like minimal engine. Just a cylinder, just like this. Got 400 thrust, which is probably a more controllable area here. Now you can see that lift and mass is a little bit out of sync here. So lift is now there. Basically, we then need to do like this, apply to construct, remove this one, put the ailerons here. So now lift and center of mass is to come a little bit more. Yep, it's exactly here now. The center of mass and lift is exactly where it's supposed to be. That's great. I found out something really stupid. If we add this little piece here to make it more aerodynamic, we actually get much worse control. And this is because when it goes forward, it's gonna be very like sleek and forwards moving and fast, but whenever it turns, of course, we're not having a very good angle, so we get so much more drag. So since we're a little bit small and twitchy, it might actually be better with a higher drag type of wedge, or possibly no wedge at all. It's also possible that we should not make the tiniest jet fighter, but instead we should try and make the tiniest propeller plane instead. I don't know if that's a fun idea, but let's just check this out here. We're able to provide around... oh, so this is... provides a little bit less power because we are having exhausts not going anywhere. So we're actually increasing a bit in temperature. Well, Let me just quickly check the drag. We could add an exhaust to get a little bit more stable power, like 5 engine power. That's so tiny. Anyways, at like full capacity, we are providing 300 thrust. Good to know. So we're gonna compare that. If we go to the air section and go to propeller instead, like this, and obviously propeller blade on each side. All right, 500. It depends. It switches around a little bit, but it depends. If we add it a little, if we make it a little bit longer, oh, it's gonna spin too slow. 50 meters per second. Yeah. For 300, like that. And if we compare that to this, we got like 300 thrust. So I suppose having the jet engine is technically smaller, because then we need even less blocks. But I think it was pretty cool with having a propeller actually. There's like 3 blocks there. Very, very cool. I kind of like this. You know, when we're making a combat plane. Oh, bam! What happened to mass? Look at that. This is heavy. It's so heavy. But because the thrust is in the front here, it's actually fine that the left is... You know what? We're just gonna try like the construct like that. We're gonna move lift to the center of mass, which is now very much more in the front. This is a funny looking one. Okay, so now we have like a front. You know what? I think this looks so cool. Maybe it's not the tiniest anymore, but it's a kinda cool tiny one at least, which I think is a pretty neat feat. Right, so we got some forward swings here instead. Kinda like that. That's nice. Well, we also didn't think too much about like max/min size when it came to these guys, the missiles, which we actually added a lot of blocks there. So to make like it the tiniest, we should probably try and make a weapon that fits in like one of these, which I think, oh, it's gonna be very hard. So let's say, now to make it guided, we need an active guidance. Let's see if this is even possible, because it's gonna be, no, we can't steer it, right? We need a fence, right? So if we have a missile like this, it will be kinetic, but it will be a very sad type of kinetic. The damage this will do will be like very tiny. Even if we add a short range thruster like this, it's gonna, like, how much damage would this do, for example? Thrust duration. Max impact damage 0.2 per meter per second. Okay. And if it goes, let's be a little bit generous. I'm gonna bring the calculator here. So say we have like 500. Let's say it reaches 500 times 0.2. It's like 100 damage. So one of these would basically not destroy a wooden block. Yeah. They need to be 2 blocks big at least. Yeah, I definitely think they need to. Right, so 2 blocks big is the answer then. I think, however, we should move around some stuff possibly, because I want the missile controller to be a little bit more here in the front. So I'm going to do some weird stuff here. Missile controller, I'm just gonna take you and I'm gonna move you over this portion. Then I'm gonna copy paste. Then we're gonna take this thing. We're gonna do like this. We're gonna do like that. We're gonna do like this. We're gonna do like that. No, no, no. We're gonna do like this. Yeah, exactly. And back here is, of course, our wooden box. And hopefully, we didn't mess up center of mass. No, we did not. That's great. We're gonna remake these missiles. They were too long anyways. If we're gonna be the minimal size, we're gonna be the minimal size. And I'm thinking, will they launch over the wings? I think they will. I don't think they should, but I think they actually will. And we're gonna have a rail gantry behind it like that. And these are gonna be set up like the last time. Single pixel IR seeker. We're gonna have less firepower, of course. They're gonna fire all at once. I just realized, so we probably want incendiary and not explosive. Like EMP we could have in there. APN guidance, fuel tanks like this. Gonna switch this to a ballast tank with a lot of buoyancy. Kernel used for fuel. Proximity fuse would be nice. I wonder how much space it takes. Let's see here. Thrust duration 3 seconds. That's bad. Compared to a APN, no, to a ballast tank, it's gonna be a real big difference. But it's okay. They don't need to be the fastest. I think we want a proximity fuse, definitely. Pins. Variable thruster. I'll just have to be a little bit faster. Right, ramp up time, start delay 0, thrust output. 200 meters per second, that's pretty fast. I think like more than 250 is, planes don't go that fast usually. Alright then. By the way, the incendiary one, we want some oxidizer. Or, no, actually not. I think for this piece, it's gonna be very weak anyways, but we want possibly to have like our max type of damage. So intensity may not be the most important thing, but some oxidizer is always good to have. Usually 20% is reasonable. We're gonna keep it a little bit lower. Yeah, I think this will be nice. I think we got a new contender. I'm pretty happy so far. I think it's pretty cool. You have to like override the save to be able to save it because it's below 30 blocks. Pretty funny. Right, so it actually looks like when the engine is getting hot enough, we are decreasing so much in thrust. We do seem to actually need to have a couple of like exhausts, and we can't have just one of them. We'll need to have two of them, otherwise we are unbalanced. That's a little bit funny. Now, they do add some drag, 0.25 to be exact, and this is only 0.1. But if we stack them like this, I think it's better, so we'll just keep them there. We are a little bit front heavy now, which may not be great, but hopefully we can kind of compensate for that when moving around. Well, I think we should test it out. We're just gonna save it a little bit quickly. We're gonna go here and turn on God mode. Right. I think we should probably just spawn a very small deep water guard enemy. Like the smallest, the duster. Right. Oh, it fired them. Why? Right. Obviously, the missile system needs to be firing a lot more accurately. But let's say like 10 degrees. I hope the single pixel IR seeker should be able to do 10 degrees, right? I hope. Check the stats. I assume it's not damaged, but we could check. And oh yeah, the missile seems to be launching fine. Oh, look at that. Oh bam, we actually hit. So 10 degrees seems to be reasonable. Yeah, this is pretty cool. The smallest possible propeller fighter plane. We could make it like possibly a few blocks smaller, but the thing is it would be very hard to balance. Like we could have one exhaust on one side and then have like two, like have a missile launcher on the other side, and that might actually work. It might actually work, but you know, I guess someone has to beat this record or something. I'm sure there is someone who has made a smaller one, but I never seen this little challenge before, so I thought it was a fun little thing to try out. I think I shall add some deco to this thing, make it look a little bit neater. For example, I think we are going to paint it with some nice colors. Or we should make it cedarwood, possibly. That could be better. Oh no. I wonder if we're like unsure where it is. That's very possible. They're like not completely blind, but almost. Bam. There we got a little hit. It's like it accidentally sees the target and just fires. This thing would be so much better with an identify friend or foe and some radar seekers. Oh. Okay. By the way, we should not target things that are underwater. That's a good thing to set up. It doesn't have a failsafe, you know? Right, let some fun stuff begin. We're gonna do some deco work. So most of the plane is gonna be fleet colors, of course. And then we're gonna use a couple of I think we're gonna cover it in maybe some alloy, but I don't think I want it to be too like standard symmetrical. We might also possibly want to hide the tail plane because it looks a little bit weird. Could be... yeah, maybe we'll need to do some do some really nasty mimic stuff here. This is my hide any block. So we can hide that. We can hide this. Oh yes, that's nice. And then I think we should add like some cosmetic blocks back here. Do I want to hide them too? Do you know what? I think I do. Oh, by the way, we didn't keep too much attention, but it killed both of the dusters we spawned in. So I think it actually has some decent combat performance. I'm happy with it so far. I think it performs very well. Well, inside of here, instead of a mimic empty, we should be doing a cube to pole, I think it's called. What type of material should this thing have? Since we're using a like unusual material, we're gonna have metal? No. Maybe just like a plick or something. Cube to pole, there we have it. And a material override, we're gonna do with a plick, we're gonna do. Okay. So we're just gonna switch this to 90, I mean 180. This. I think you see where I'm going with this here. And right here, we're just gonna have like this. We're gonna have alloy. No, not alloy. We're gonna have a plick material override like this. Gonna get a nice fuselage here. Ooh, this is a small insignificant detail. We're gonna do like this. Look, this is gonna be pretty neat looking, I think. By the way, do tell me if you like these types of like videos where we like build things, like a tiny build in like one video, like in this in detail. Do tell me if it's to your enjoyment. If it is, I might do more. If it's not, I don't need to, you know, record them. Right, now we're gonna do with a pole as well. I have a very narrow little sliver. Make that a plick as well. Yeah. Actually, this is gonna be a little bit larger. Maybe like this. Add some detail. Right, into the back portion here. Let's see here, we are going to not have a mimic empty, but instead a cone of some kind. I think possibly, I don't know if I want a sharp cone. Maybe we'll like have a nose cone instead. And we'll need to override it with a click like this. 180. Yeah, that looks pretty symmetrical. I think I like that. So we're gonna add like fake control elements on the back portion here. I just realized the colors looked off because I didn't select the fleet color, I selected the shiny color instead, so that was my bad. Anyways, I got this little idea here. What if we make the wings look backwards like this? I think this could be a really cool setup. Yeah, I think this is gonna work. And yeah, definitely like this. Man, these wing parts are just so impossible to fit together. But anyways, let me show you the ridiculousness here. Look at this. So we have the inverted corner, except they're too wide. So to meet this part and this part, I have like half the width here. So that's like really crazy. Anyways, apply with mirror. This looks I can speak. This looks absolutely amazing. I think, at least. Well, whatever. I like it. So I'm so sorry, Cadet Ben Hickey, if you're still with us. I'm not sure exactly if you'll fit very comfortably inside of there, but at least it's just your brain is remote controlling this unit, so it's not that bad. Or also, obviously, you don't need to see out very well because it doesn't have detection. Really? Yeah. Well, in any case, I'm gonna add these fins on the back here, and I'm gonna do something with the exhausts, but I think it's pretty cool. I tweaked the PIDs a little bit because I realized that, like pitch and stuff like that, we want it to be a little bit more strong, since we have very weak controls for that. Anyways, well, we are in on day 2 on this little project. I'm really happy with how it looks, however. I think this may be the best thing, look-wise, I made as an aircraft. And I'm not 100% sure exactly where we left off yesterday, because I'm sorry, I should have checked the footage. It's no excuses, that's on me. But anyways, you can see that we have added some pretty cool details and stuff. I changed the loadout here, so we have one side with infrared seeker, EMP and incendiary, and the other side with incendiary that has 20% oxidizer with the active radar seeker. So these will be more useful if we meet aircraft and stuff like that. That's kind of larger, blimps, zeppelins, name it. And also naval ships as well, because a lot of naval ships aren't very hot. Anyways, I have done a few changes. I did make it so that it adds more lift now. We have another fin in the front of the control there. I did a lot of testing against the Dusters, Shrikes, and also the Hake Squadrons. In any case, if we do check the build mode here and check some menu, you can see here this is the actual size of the airplane, so it's pretty small. I didn't hide a lot with mimics, and here you can see we have a wireless snooper and an inter-vehicle transmitter. So I didn't first think I had space for any detection, but it turned out that they were a little bit too inaccurate. Like, sometimes they detected a target and sometimes they didn't. So I figured I kind of want some type of proximity detection at least. And I thought adding an inter-vehicle transmitter could be good to pick up signals from other that has detection. So I actually thought about making an extra one that has the detection, and then making another one that doesn't. Well, like the regular version. So you have like a lead version, and then you had another version. Yeah. Anyways, you can see if you remembered exactly what type of adjustments I made, I guess you can check them out here. Naturally, I don't quite remember exactly. Oh, this one should be lower. Yeah, maybe like that. So we kind of bank a little bit more often, maybe like even 15 degrees. So I did add a lot of stuff here, change stuff back and forth. I think this is the version one. Yeah. Anyways, the thing is that I thought it would cost too much drag to add detection, and these have a reduced drag of 1.0, but it turns out adding a component here, it doesn't significantly change the drag, because it's kind of behind this. So even though this component has a drag of 0.2, and the wireless snooper also have that, they do have not the same weight, but 5 in weight difference seems to be a-okay, even for this scale. But I added that on there so they can communicate with each other, and if we have a good detection thing on there, it will be able to engage. Yeah, Here are the different views if you want to see what is what on it. You can see there's a lot of mimic blocks visible. I just love that we see the engine, that we have it exposed. I was very happy with that. Yeah, well, I don't know. I hope you do like it. I will at some point upload it to the workshop if I haven't already. But of course, you commissioned officers already have access to this, as it should be in the updated files. It's called AOG F Merops Interceptor. So I was looking a little bit. I'm writing the document on aircraft classification that we will publish as a Steam guide. And it turns out that Interceptor doesn't have a like a mission, basic mission symbol or aircraft type or anything like that. It's a type of a fighter. An interceptor is a type of a fighter, why it's called F. Merops is bee-eater bird in Latin, so obviously this is not very strong. It is a little plane that can take out larger aircraft, as has proven, as you probably see because it took out our enemies here. Let's just get the Hake Squadron in there. And I don't know, I think this, I'm very happy with how this looks, I must just say. As you can see here, I had a photo shoot that took embarrassingly long time. I hope this will appear as some screensaver later in our downloadable screensaver package, which you of course can get. Yeah, I made some video about that, I hope. Otherwise there are pins at places where you can see that. So yeah, I took some pictures. I know it's not optimal that sometimes missiles get stuck in the exhaust pipes. I tried to move the exhaust pipes elsewhere, but it didn't work because it added so much drag, it got so much slower. It's actually worth it. Some get stuck sometimes. The only thing we have to think about is not having explosive or frag, because then it will hurt our own vehicle. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. They have a big problem taking out the Hake Squadron, honestly. They do deal damage and they will take it down eventually. And when I say eventually, I mean like super long time, because the Hake Squadron has really smart flares. On the other hand, the Hake Squadron can damage our Merops. Yeah, they can't. Not for as long as I've tested, and I put like a bunch of Hake Squadrons and a bunch of Merops and just let it run for like an hour while I do other stuff. And yeah, none of the Merops even got damaged. So that's cool. And while I was doing all this testing, this insane testing for really optimizing these missiles so they are actually as good as possible, it was hard and they were never perfect, I will say that, but they were good enough and it took a long time to do that. I got another idea. I think I know the topic for the next little Army of GMODISM trials. We'll have Trial Season 1, but it's gonna be a very small challenge because I have so many other projects in the workings too. I feel like it's better to do something than not do something, and it will be fun with a small challenge. Yeah, and then Season 3 will be a bigger challenge, but more about that later. I don't know if you already guessed it, but whatever. This is huge thanks to all of the commissioned officers in the Army of GMODISM and to all in the ecclesiarchy of GMODISM as well. I'll see you next time. This is your host, Eric, signing out.